Welcome back to ciLiving. Updating your beauty and wellness routine doesn't have to be expensive or wasteful. Owner of Beanblossom Soaps, Emily Beanblossom, is here to show you how she makes all natural products and how it's actually not as difficult as you might think. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me back. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to make a bunch of stuff with you today.
I always am too, because your stuff is so lovely. It always smells so good, and I love the sustainability element of your business. So can you just tell me a little bit about Beanblossom Soaps?
Yeah, so I've got this soap business, and I make solid cold process soaps using essential oils and vegetable oils and natural colorants. I use micas and things like that to make really fun, exciting soaps that still celebrate nature. And I avoid using plastic packaging where I can, especially single-use packaging. I use lots of craft paper, cardboard, things like that to package it in, and just I really want to give it like a natural, homey feel to the soap.
And one of the things that I really appreciate about your business that is not necessarily industry standard is that you always list all of your ingredients, right? Because it's not required. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's surprising that it's not required for small soap makers, but and that's why it's our duty to be as honest and transparent about what the ingredients are. Luckily, the ingredients are usually really, really simple, so listing them out on the label it doesn't take too much time.
Right.
A lot of the ingredients you can find at your co-op, your farmer's market, if you're making soap yourself.
Sure.
I get my ingredients in bulk from an Illinois supplier, so that's exciting. That's a new company that I found recently that I've been purchasing in bulk, like huge buckets of coconut oil and things like that. So that's really exciting.
And I like that you're sort of staying local. I like that you're supporting other businesses right here in the state to then help your business. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I try to.
And with the listing everything on the ingredients, I think it's really important, because if you want to give stuff as a gift or if you want to buy it for yourself, if someone's allergic to chamomile or something like that, it's really good to know that so that there's no issues.
Yeah.
All right, so what are we sort of making today? I know you're going to show us some bug balm because we are going into summer and those itchy, pesky mosquitoes are not the best.
Yeah, I started making this because I feel like I'm a bug magnet and I'm just always covered in bites. So I make this with a lot of the ingredients that I already use for the soap that I make. Mm-hmm. We've got olive oil here, which has been infused with herbs already that help with, that are anti-inflammatory.
Oh, nice.
So calendula here and chamomile here. And then I've also got coconut oil.
Okay.
And then, Jaclyn, you're holding beeswax.
I was wondering what this was. This was the
Yeah.
one that I was looking at that I'm like, I'm not familiar with this. So
Yeah.
beeswax.
So
Okay.
when I buy my beeswax in bulk, I get it in these little pellets because it's easier to melt. Beeswax takes a really long time to melt. So what you would do when you're making this balm, if you want to make it for yourself at home, you would use a double boiler,
Okay.
which that's what this is, and you would fill the bottom part with water.
Okay.
Then this top part goes there, and then you would put your oils inside. That just helps evenly melt everything together. If you put it on direct heat, it can kind of, maybe
Burn a little bit,
and kind of mess up the integrity of the oils. And then if you're infusing the liquid oils, well, you can infuse coconut oil as well. You would also use this double boiler method, and you would just put it on low. Mm-hmm. You can also use a crock pot.
Oh.
You can also just put your herbs in a jar with your liquid oils and let it set on a shelf. That's the most sustainable way because you're not using any energy to infuse your oils.
Right.
Usually you would do it would be like 1 cup of herbs to 4 cups of oil.
Okay.
And then from there you could make your balm. And so I'm gonna share my recipe.
Okay.
So even though we're not making it today because the beeswax takes so long to melt, it's easy to throw together. The hardest part of this recipe is finding the chamomile and calendula. Maybe you can grow it yourself if you've got a green thumb. Maybe you've got a nice neighbor. Maybe it's at the farmer's market, or wherever you can find it. You would put your olive oil, your coconut oil, and your beeswax together, melt it on low. It does take a while. And then you would stir it and then pour it into these handy little containers.
That's great. And then moving on from the bug bite balm, this is vanilla extract, which I feel like if you package it like this, it makes a really sweet gift for somebody. But it takes a long time to infuse and things, right? So tell me about this.
So I love this as a holiday gift, but it's something that you want to start in the summer. So even though it feels a little early to be thinking about the holidays now, it's really not.
Right.
So making this, I love this because it's economical. You can make many, and it's just such a thoughtful gift.
Very sweet thing, yeah. So what is this?
So that is just straight vodka that we're going to use.
Okay.
You can do vanilla extract if you want to do a non-alcoholic version with a simple syrup as well.
Okay.
You can find recipes for that online and so on. But honestly, the easiest way
is the vodka.
Foolproof, yeah.
And because we only have we can do this in 30-ish seconds, right? So what do we do?
So you've got a couple cups of vodka in here. Mostly you just want to make sure you've got enough to cover the beans. You're going to split the bean lengthwise.
Great.
You don't have to cut it in half, just enough to kind of, exactly.
Rip
split
it open.
So those lovely flavory bits are showing.
Okay.
And then you can just drop it in there.
Drop it inside.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And then that sits for 6 months, and when that's done, we have our vanilla extract.
Yeah, you store it in a cool, dark place for 4 to 6 months. You would probably, for this much vodka, you would probably want to use all these beans.
Okay.
And then what you can do too is with this little bottle for gifting, just for a little visual appeal, you can just put one of these beans in there as well, and it looks cute that way. And then you'd fill it up with the vodka. It looks cute, but also then they can add more vodka to it when they run out. So it's like a gift that keeps giving.
Oh, that keeps on infusing. Yeah. That's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this. I know we have more when we come back from break. So Emily will show you a sustainable way to bring your favorite soaps on vacation without worrying about the liquid requirements if you're going to be traveling this summer. ciLiving will continue in just a few minutes.